third grade. This might look a little different. It's a different device because I gotta do some stuff with my phone, and I just wanted to try to get this video in. So um, I hope that it's not too crazy and annoying, but we are going to review a little bit before you do your. I don't know if it's just that. Maybe that's what it is. We're going to review a little bit before you take your test. Not that these things are going to be all a part of the test, but I want to make sure that we are going over some of the things that you may have forgotten or not be as may not be as sure about with your um, language pages the past couple of days, where it was especially like the glossary. We were struggling with that. I think I mentioned that on Friday. Um, some of you weren't quite looking in the right places in the glossary or weren't quite sure what to do or forgot some of those important concepts about that. So I just want to review some things with you to make sure that we've gotten those down before you get ready to take your test or whatever. But not even just for the test, because remember, we don't learn things for the test. We learn them for life. Yes, that is correct. So I want to review over our parts of speech just super quickly. I know you know them, but I want to make sure that we've got them down, especially our newest ones with conjunctions, pronouns, adverbs, those that we haven't maybe remembered as easily. So we have our nouns. Noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. And then we also talked about the fact that there are two kinds of nouns. There are common nouns and proper nouns. Common nouns are just any person, place, or thing. Proper nouns are particular persons, places, or things, and they're always going to be capitalized. You always capitalize them. They're particular names and places. So, not just park, but Stanley Quarter Park. Not just teacher, but Mrs. Nichols. Not just school, but Emmanuel Christian Academy. So, it's a particular person, place, or thing. So, it's always capitalized. Then we have our verbs. And a verb is a word that shows action. Remember Action Adam with his little cape and his little verbinator that was able to catch all the verbs that we were able to come up with. So Action Adam, he reminds us of things that we can do, action verbs. But then we also had being Ben, and being Ben was just kind of there because he was just teaching us that there are some verbs that are just being. They are what they are. And he was what he was. And he was there on our board and he said, I am here. Am is, are, was, were, have, has, had. Words are being verbs or helping verbs. So remember those non-action verbs that we talked about as well. Adjective is what? Word that describes a noun. So it makes the noun more colorful. So instead of just a bird, the bluebird was sitting outside my window. Instead of just chair, it was an old chair. So I was a little afraid to sit on it. Okay. It colors the sentence. So adjectives describe a noun. Then we also talked about our adverbs. Adverbs are words that describe the verb. Okay. So when we're talking about how he sang, he always sang while he was working. Okay. Saying how, when, always. Okay. She usually combs her hair in the morning. When? Usually. Okay. How often? Usually. Um, they often go to school the same way. How often? Often. Okay. So think those through. Many times, though, the words will end in ly. Not always, but that's an important thing that will be a hint with some of your adverbs, that many of them will end in ly. Then we also talked about pronouns. Now this is where some of you were a little confused on your language page the other day because it asked you to write the predicate pronouns. And remember, we've gone over that. We said that there are subjective pronouns and predicate pronouns. So the pronouns that come in the subject part of the sentence. And remember, we had that list. The first group, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. okay? And remember, I went over this the other day where I was telling you the subjective pronouns and then the predicate pronouns, okay? The pronouns that are in the predicate part of the sentence. Me, you, him, her, it, us, and them, okay? So pronouns are words that take the place of nouns. You will not put these in the predicate part of the sentence. That's why we've learned to split our sentences up into subject parts and predicate parts, because that's going to help you with your pronouns. You don't say, he helped we, and he helped we figure this problem out. No, he helped us, because the predicate part of the sentence is the end of the sentence. You're not going to say he helped we. We is a subject part, subjective pronoun, okay? And so if you looked in the glossary in the back of your book, it said these are the pronouns that would be in the predicate part. And so it's me, you, him, her, it, us, and them. So that's what it was asking for when it was asking for the predicate part. These are all of your predicate pronouns, okay? They're at the end, and remember, you and it are in both. So you still have to use you and it. Some of you left those blank, but remember, you and it are used for both, and that's why you will still put that in the predicate part. So if you missed that on that language page, I don't know if it was last Wednesday or Thursday, or I don't even remember, but days are all running together. But if you missed that, then make sure to go back and fill those in correctly. So the predicate pronouns, if you look in your glossary under pronouns and then under predicate, it will show you me, us, him, her, them. And then you know that you and it are automatically there because they're in both the predicate and the subjective pronouns. Okay? Do we see that? Does that make sense? So, because we said, you're not going to use, I liked going to the mall with he and her, or he and she. No, with her and him, okay? And we might think it doesn't sound right, but no, it is correct, okay? We talked with they. No, we talked with them, okay? Them is in the subject part. We is in the subject part. So predicate part, subject part. Those are your pronouns. Then we also had our conjunctions, and conjunctions are joining words. They join words or groups of words, and so they connect, and they bring parts of sentences together or just a couple of words together. And, or, but. Those three are easy to remember and understand. Oh, also for adjectives, don't forget, always, 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 the three adjectives, a, and, the. Always. And that's one of the questions that was on that language page as well. Then we've been talking about our dictionary skills. Where am I? Our dictionary skills. And so remember, our dictionary, it has entries, and each entry that's there shows how to pronounce the word, how to spell the word, what definitions the word, what it means, what parts of speech that word might be. And then it might give a sample sentence for that word and give other forms of that word as well. But each of these entries in the dictionary is easier to find because of the two words at the top of the dictionary called your guide words. And those guide words help to guide you to the word to see if it would be on that page or not. So think those things through with all of your things that we've been talking about and learning through language. Don't miss and forget those. And then now you can take out test 15. Make sure to put your name and date at the top first thing. And then section 1 is just putting the words in alphabetical order, ABC order, numbering 1 through 5, okay? And read them carefully, because you go right in order of the alphabet, and then if there's two letters that are the same, you know the process that we use, okay? Think carefully. Section 2, dictionary. Mark the circle next to the correct answer so it gives you some of the things that we just finished talking about. Section 3, dictionary skills. Mark the circle beside the set of guide words that each entry word would come between. So you're going to put one circle because there's two guide words there for each of those circles, and then you're going to figure out what word for work, what two words would work and pickle come in between. Then turn the page over, just flip it over, and you have your singular and plural nouns. That was on your page on Friday. Remember, it reviewed over those plurals, and we said look carefully, because if it's talking about one of something and it says make it singular or plural, and if it's only talking about one, then you're not going to make it plural just because. Okay, so look at these, read these sentences carefully. Fill in the blank with the correct form of the word in parentheses, whether it should be singular or whether it should be plural. Fill that in. Then the last section is capitalization and punctuation. Use proofreader's marks. That was on those pages as well. So use the proofreader's marks. Every time you put a period or a comma or an exclamation point or a question mark or quotation marks, use the insert mark. That's a proofreader mark. You have to put that there. Everything that should be capitalized, put those 3 lines underneath. Everything that should be deleted, everything that should maybe be lowercase instead of uppercase, everything that has a little spelling error, all of those are proofreader's marks that you need to use. Now, you're not going to use all of them in this section, but just read your sentences carefully, look it through, and then put your proofreader's marks. This is the section that good detectives will kill on and do really well, but some of us need that extra little, get your detective glasses on and look carefully so you can do well on that section, because I know you can do it. So have faith that you can, because God is with you and he can help you. So you can do this. Work hard. This is, these are the last tests and quizzes for the year. So do well. Make me proud. And I know you will. So do well on your test. See you soon.